Is Chivalry dead?
Okay, I hold doors open for you. Not enough. I paid your dinner. Not enough.
Yeah, it's never enough.
Chivalry became what it is today because so many men used it like a fucking point system.
With several billion members, the human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While men are simple creatures requiring only the most rudimentary of emotional needs to be satisfied, there is a subgroup classified as the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex. Allegedly. However, they are dismissed, scoffed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone.
You don't think this is a little bit too dramatic? Just let it happen.
Joe and Jason are the last of the nice guys.
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Jason's face. This is an exciting episode of The Last of the Nice
Very
Guys.
exciting.
This is our first ever Council of Men.
The Council of Men.
Council of Men. I had
The
to pause.
Council of Men.
There you go. This was very this was something that me and Jason wanted to do. Oh, and sorry, by the way, I completely skipped. I'm Joe.
And I'm
with
Jason.
me, and this is The Last of the Nice Guys. And once again, very exciting episode for you for today. Council of Men is something that we've been talking about since what, episode fucking 5?
I think it's episode 1. I'm
Episode
pretty
1?
sure we mentioned it like
Yeah.
wanted to see in the future, and we always wanted to get a bunch of men together to
Right.
discuss topics. And
Right, and we finally did.
yes, we did.
And
I'm proud of that.
It was I thought the Council of Men it was nice. I loved it.
It was different.
It was different.
It was different.
I can give you some pros and cons right now. But I'll just leave it off as the fact that it was the first ever Council of Men. I personally, in my opinion, I haven't told you this yet, but I personally definitely would love to do that again.
With your people
No.
next time. more your people than mine next time would be great.
Well, we can add at least one. We can add
yeah.
we can add like JJ.
Yeah, well, yeah, so you can curse all the time. It's great.
No, that's my cursing partner. I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to fucking do that. That was a very exciting episode for us. We thoroughly enjoyed doing that. We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of silent moments because Jason knows why.
It went far beyond us, and that's one of the. All right, you know when you plan something and it happens, and then you stop at the end of it, and you kind of be like, I saw it differently playing in my head.
Right.
No. It was bad. It was good, but it played out way more different than I thought the Man Council would have played out.
I thought that we were going to have a legit back and forth debate in a positive way.
Yes.
But it, again, I'm not going to talk shit about it. It was the first ever Council of Men. It wasn't like something
Growing
that
pains.
right,
Pains.
exactly.
It
wasn't like
I have to be very honest with you guys. I dropped it in the middle of a different podcast without any prep for the gentleman. Not to say that, again, not a bad podcast. It's actually pretty good, this segment. So this is actually from the 100th episode of Keep It Up the Geek Bros podcast, on the podcast that Joe was formerly part of and that I actually host. And it was our anniversary episode. We had 8 or 9 men.
Yeah, about 8 or 9 men. It was
8 or 9 men, and
yeah.
they're all past hosts of that podcast. And I said, you know what? I can't skip this. I can't let this pass by. And I told Joe, I said, Joe, check it out. We're gonna sneak in a Council of Men, smack in the middle.
Mind you, I never even thought of doing that.
Yeah.
So the fact that this man said that he wanted to squeeze this in here on
Yeah.
top of another
Yeah,
highly anticipated episode of the Geek Bros. That was
it was something serious.
that was something serious,
So,
man.
I hope you guys enjoy it. It's fun. It's great. And then at the very end, Joe and myself have some final thoughts. And stay tuned. It's now the Council of Men from Keeping the Geek Bros. Hit it.
Keeping up with the Geek Bros.
First, Council of Men. Is chivalry dead? That's the question I want to discuss. So we're gonna go round robin. I'm gonna just point it to every one of you guys. Juancho, what does chivalry mean to you, and is it dead? Because you're the co-host.
Let's see. Is chivalry dead in 2020, or let's just say going forward? Yeah, kind of is. Nowadays, everybody's just doing their own things and complain about everything, and not really like chivalry is not even there anymore. You don't see it there anymore. It's gone.
You think do women even appreciate it anymore?
Yes.
Maybe some of them may, some of them may not. Depends on which spectrum of the where you're at. Either you're too left, you're too right, or you're in the middle. All depends. If you're too left, you're all about you. You don't want any men depending on any man. If you're too right, you want to expect a man to be catering to you. If you're down the middle, then you're very open to both actually accepting a little bit of chivalry and a little bit of not. That's where it is. That's where it comes down to. Are you too left? You're too right. And unfortunately, that's the scheme of 2020 and going forward.
Joe Taro, is chivalry dying, and do women even respect it anymore, or even appreciate it?
Yeah, and yes and no.
Okay.
I think it's both. It's both.
Okay.
I think actually more so no. It's not respected.
Okay.
Because like
dead?
You can be I mean
he's like, yeah, what do you mean? Are you crazy?
You can be opening doors left and right. You can be bringing flowers on the first date. You can be saying how good you look literally from the moment you speak to that girl to the, I guess, time when you guys flatline. It's still won't be enough to a lot of women. So it's just it's never enough. That's the problem.
You struck a chord with Kylo Sam. Calm that down now.
Joe, here's the thing though, and it has to be a lot to do with a lot of these fake knights who are doing things. Fake knights who are out there doing it for the wrong reasons.
Sounds like some pickup artist shit to me.
Yeah, it's you open the fan honest truth. If you guys, I'm throwing my hat on this conversation real quick.
Okay,
there goes. It's real simple. You do it because it's the right thing to do, not because you're trying to get under someone's skirt. Simple.
Well, we're talking about. You're right.
Go speak it. It was a code.
So the problem is that there's too many fuckboys out there who think that that's the way to get into someone's pants, and then
I don't think any
quote
fuckboys
bro,
pretending to be chivalrous. I
yes,
don't.
Because
that's too much work.
F-boys just want to pretend to be F-boys just because they want to be hip and they want to be cool.
And we're skinny jeans.
And now Darth Flex said something. Darth Flex, is chivalry dead, and do women still appreciate it? The genuine chivalry. Carry on.
All right. I'm going to need you to not fucking interrupt me when I say this, but I think it's not dead. The way I was raised by a single mother, I always address them as ma'am. I'm courteous. I always greet them properly. I always hold doors. I'll get up, for them to sit down. I don't think it's dead for what I would say is quality women.
Yeah.
If people think it's dead, it's because you're probably hanging around a lot of ain't shit bitches. Like, no, sorry, okay, that's the wrong word. You're hanging around a lot
morally of wrong, morally questionable ladies.
We said morally questionable ladies.
Like, I've been almost all over the world, and I've had women Allegedly. Appreciate chivalry. Different parts of the world. So I don't think it's a cultural thing, really. I think it's just, poor quality women that, don't see it because whatever. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, I'm a man. I'm here to help you out. Like, they're independent, but just the way I was raised, I'm always going to be chivalrous. And I don't think it's dead. I don't think women killed it. It's still alive. It's still alive to the women that it matters to, if that makes any sense.
I like that.
So maybe just surround yourself.
To who, though? Who are they still alive to? Because generations growing up right now are not being taught that. That was your mom, but she taught you to you. who are we going to teach that to? That's gone. What, are we going to be the ones to teach all these kids to be chivalrous? You know how many kids how many uptight kids there is? Like, oh no, don't tell me what to do. I'm free. I do whatever I want. They're not.
I'm gonna have to shut the door for this.
Shut the door, man. Is Chivalry Dead?
I have to. Okay, so am I the only one with daughters here? I don't know anybody's backstory.
I have two. I have two boys.
I have a daughter. I have a daughter right here. Look at this
I got a son on the way. He's
Give me a second to shut the door, and then you're gonna hear what this is about. Hold on one second.
That Puerto Rican fire, right? Puerto Rican. Am I correct?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So when it comes to chivalry, it all depends on how the girl was raised. Because I have two daughters of my own, and the problem is, we as men, our era, we grew up with Boys to Men. You know, all the old school horror movies.
Next.
Everything like that. They're nowadays they grew up with Beyonce, like independent women, all the single ladies. You know, what can you do for me? You know, all that nonsense is what gets in the way of what's going on now. Again, I had two daughters. I don't want them growing up like that. Like, I don't want to be like, okay, hey, before you talk, what can you do for me? Okay, I hold doors open for you. Not enough. I paid your dinner. Not enough.
Yeah, it's never enough.
I don't think that has anything to do with chivalry, though. But
well, no, it's just chivalry nowadays. It's hard to decipher because a lot of men out there are trying to be chivalrous, and it's not being noticed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you try and hold the door open, you get that one rude girl. It's like, okay, thanks for getting out of my way. It's like, okay, I apologize. I just held the door open for you. Sorry.
Who gives a shit? You held the door open. If she doesn't want to say thank you, move the fuck on. Nobody owes you anything.
That's why you don't pay attention to them. But as a man that grew up in that era, I do it just for the sake of doing it. I don't do it because it's not appreciated.
I mean, you're basically
again,
saying
doing for the right thing.
Doing it for you.
But you see, I'm just jumping in, guys, a little bit here.
Kylo Sam, Chivalry Dead.
Yes, I'm coming from way back in the universe to bring this issue here. Chivalry is not dead. It is actually, I went to the room and it's actually on the 7th floor at Memorial in life support.
I see you.
Oh, yes. Chivalry is in intensive care.
It's being quarantined from Corona right now. I
get you. Every so often, Chivalry will get up and you'll go, okay, and you'll go back. Okay? The reason why I'm saying this, all of the issues and the reasons that we mentioned, guys, are valid. Education is one. Environment. But also, let's be clear, and I got some of the same thing, man. At times, you know, I'm getting to a certain age now. Young lady in her 20s pass by, I keep the door open for her. She looks at me as if it's an invitation. No, girl, you ain't all that. I'm opening the door not because you are a lady. I'm opening it because I'm a gentleman.
Way too many women like that.
Thank you.
Way too many women like that.
And you know, and it's almost like even when you say hello, it's no, I'm not hollering at you necessarily. You know, I was taught to do that. So then what happens? Then, you know, I have to protect myself also in a certain way, especially at the job, for instance. I'm a supervisor, or you hold a certain amount of things. Mm-hmm. So you hold to keep a certain distance so that people don't get you misconstrued. So that's what I'm saying in that sense. You do it for yourself, but the very way that certain people are wired to receive it, because what allows me to be chivalrous is when a lady gives me room to be chivalrous. You know, I mean, I can take the initiative, but it can be encouraged. For instance, and I know it's a cliche, a lady would pass by and drop her handkerchief. I know it's cliche, guys, but that gives you a room. It's an open room now for your chivalry to pass by. Ma'am, you dropped this. So it opens an opportunity.
Steal that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then you pass by.
It's like don't return the phone. Oh, I got a new phone.
Yeah, that's like, oh, okay. So,
Sam, when was the last time you took your jacket off and put it on a puddle for a lady to walk over?
Oh, please, man.
That is so dumb.
And I sent
that
them
is
the
the
bill.
stupidest thing.
2011 for me.
That makes sense.
That's why I carry a plastic bag in my backpack.
My videos actually all rotated differently. Who have I mean, I know Roz is Chivalry Dead, and women still appreciate it.
Look, I always found it really interesting that a lot of people tend to associate chivalry with common fucking human kindness. Like, you're describing shit as some kind of chivalry. Like, somebody drops something, you pick it up. Oh, hello, madam, I believe you dropped this. No, just be a fucking dude. Pick it up and be like, hey, dude, you dropped this. Move the fuck on. Chivalry became what it is today because so many men used it like a fucking point system. I'm kind to you. You must now be kind to me. None of us is owed anything.
No, yeah, that's right. That's true.
You don't believe in, you don't believe in
That's very true.
So you don't believe in reciprocation?
Reciprocation?
Not at all.
Why should anybody owe us anything? Why should we owe anybody anything?
I didn't say
somebody's nice to you. Hold up.
Reciprocation.
Reciprocation is something owed. So if you're nice to somebody and they say, hey, thanks, awesome. That feels great. If you're nice to somebody and they move on, whatever. Why does it have to be a situation where us, you know, these dudes sitting here in this room, these 8 guys go, hey, man, is chivalry dead? No, who the fuck cares? You know? Let people be people. If you're going to open the door for a lady, open the door for a guy too. We keep associating these acts of kindness to gender and sex, and that's where we're fucking up. And that's how people get outraged and go, oh, gosh, I wasn't, you know, acknowledged the way I want to be. No, you weren't acknowledged because nobody should acknowledge you. You did something nice. Cool. Move on. That's it. That's what I have to say.
I 100% agree with everything that you said, Rod. I don't put anything towards gender whatsoever because, again, I have children of both races. I am friends with both races. Everybody is. I was raised by my mother to be nice to everybody, to be kind to everybody. Mm-hmm. But the concept of chivalry when it comes to men and women is what
especially when you're referring to romance. We're throwing in, and I'm going to throw in the romance now here.
Yeah, we're not. It's being overutilized just to try to get that lay more than anything else in the world.
That's the problem.
And that's the problem. That's why no one does it anymore.
If we want to live in an egalitarian society, if we want to be equals to each other, the onus is on us to treat, you know, the other gender
everybody equal.
You know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should just morally be a good person. Yeah,
exactly. Same thing that you expect from a man, you should expect from a woman, and vice versa.
But that's not that's not our reality, though. Women expect something different from men than regardless. If we're going out if we're going out on a date,
sure.
Okay, the man in no way, shape, or form will expect the woman to pay. The woman will expect the man to pay. The woman will expect the man to put forth the effort. The woman will expect the man to put his best foot forward and to impress her. But it's not the other way around.
Maybe because this room is full of some old motherfuckers. Myself what you're talking about now is some Gen X, maybe early millennial ass shit.
I'm talking about dating in the modern era. I'm talking about dating now.
If you date somebody, unless you're dating like some, you know, some ratchet ass people, and again goes both ways. You know. Everybody, again, it's becoming more of an egalitarian society. You're bound to meet more women that say, hey, I'll pay for my half, because they've been brought up that, hey, if a guy pays for your half of a meal, he's going to expect something from you.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So,
when the perfect example, like, my wife is a few years younger.
Take off that of your face. I hear Kylo Ren. Come on.
Sorry. I was playing with masks because I just found this in my bag. I forgot I had it. So the whole thing is it's actually when me and my wife went on our first date. Mm-hmm. Well, also I didn't know she didn't think it was a date, but that doesn't mean anything. But even like on all our dates, even after we started dating and everything like that, because we've been friends for so long, it was always like, hey, I can, you know, I'll cover this, or hey, let me buy, you know, let me buy dinner. Like she one of our first dates.
You guys were friends first, though, Garbanzo. That, you know,
I mirror his experience.
That's it. What?
When
you met your other half?
Yeah.
I mean, you met her and you guys immediately went into courting, or you had a pre-established relationship with her first?
I met her. She only bought me an Xbox.
Yeah, I met her and.
I'm so serious.
She bought you an Xbox when you guys were first dating?
Yeah, like immediately after we first started dating.
No, like how, after how many dates and who?
But that's the whole thing, though. It's
no,
it's not
what I'm
so
saying,
much because the whole thing is I don't get me wrong.
It was like a few months.
Like there is a lot of
like 2 days.
Sister, sister. Okay, when I was growing up when we were growing up, I always told her, like, you can always take care of yourself. You don't need to have. If somebody wants to do it, that's fine. But you also like when she still goes out.
Yeah.
There's some people that she's gone out with, and she's told me straight up, like, oh no, I just went to dinner and I bought dinner, and I'm like, oh, but it was a date. I was like, yeah, but it was my turn.
Cool.
In my
And there's a lot of other people like that out there.
No, I'm not saying there aren't any, but that's not the norm, and you know that's not the norm.
Actually, Vibe, the first date I've been on, me and my girl, we actually split the bill only because I didn't even bring it up, or I was willing to pay, obviously, but like she was willing to split it, and I didn't even. Like, I would say, I of course I said, no, I'll do it, it's fine, but she insisted. She said it's cool, and she gave a speech about how, hey, it really shouldn't matter at the end of the day. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If you want to do it, you do it.
Yeah.
And it's this appreciation for I'm not gonna go look at her and be like, oh, well, what the fuck, man? I'm supposed to be paying for that. Get out of here. I don't want.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that there is an expectation of men when they take out a woman that they should pay.
Well, I mean,
for a lot of women, yes.
If I'm asking you out, if I'm the one, and that's the way I was raised, maybe it's old-fashioned.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm the one asking, okay, my dad always told me, you asking, you better make sure you can take care of that. Now, if in the process, and not to look so creepy, because I have plenty of sisters and cousins, I mean, I grew up around breasts. I mean, these girls had no problem unfastening their bras and scratching in front of me. To the point that it's like, come on, guys. So there's a respect for women, and, the ladies in my family, even when they went on the date, they always had a certain amount of money because they were taught also to read the room. If, of course, if you let a gentleman pay for you, there might be some expectations. So if you don't want that expectation, you can just, I got this. So that, you mitigate the expectation for them not to think that all of a sudden now you're sending the vibe of being interested when you're not. So that's the only thing I would say. I have no problem with either one paying, but if I'm the one initiating, until this day with my wife too, I mean, married over 20 years. If I'm
Congratulations.
The one paying, thank you. If I'm the one, because I'm married to my best friend, I mean, we are good friends. If I'm the one saying, hey, honey, let's go, it's kind of our thing, but I got her at that night. And sometimes she'll go like, hey, let me take you out. And it's kind of our thing that at the end, when I'm, she's like, no, I told you it's on me. So that's the one thing I would say on that. Flexibility there. So I appreciate that
flexibility.
Yeah. Appreciation is goes a long way for both sides.
Both ends.
Goes a long way.
On both ends.
Be kind, pass it on.
Yeah.
So maybe it's time for chivalry to die and just being nice. Come back.
Yes. It comes down. It's just being a nice. I mean, nowadays, everybody's so uptight, and we tend to forget the meaning of being human and being kind to each other. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same skin, same organs, and everything. It doesn't matter.
Be kind, rewind.
Each other, even if you are considered a different gender, binary, non-binary, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just being nice.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, there's too many people who take one side too strong, and then the other. It's just too much going back and forth, and there's no neutrality. And when you don't have neutrality, you don't have niceness. Because you're too against somebody, and there's no acceptance. And if you don't have acceptance, then you can't really show. When I hold the door, when I pick something up for both male, whatever it is, I don't care less what they say to me. Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't care. I did it because it's something that is fulfilling for me to do. And unfortunately, that part right there of fulfillment is not there a lot. And it's not coming from our generation. It's coming for future generations who are coming because that part of fulfillment is not there anymore. Seeing, I work with some kids at the part-time, and seeing them, and I try to pass as much knowledge I can to them, so they see things more easier and make things more lightly. But some of them, you tell them something, it's like, whoa, hold on, that's not what I meant. Calm down. It's not what I meant. And unfortunately, what they're surrounded around, and it sucks, and it really does suck.
Yeah, the fact that you have to over-express and over-explain everything that you do is such a problem nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, opening the door, it's like, well, why did you open the door for me? Why did you hold it? What do you want out of this? What are you expecting?
Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Imagine growing up your entire life constantly being catcalled, constantly being called out because
Oh,
somebody
of course.
opened the door for you and maybe you didn't notice it, and then they start calling you horrible names. You know, at a certain point, you start kind of getting sick of the idea of chivalry. You know, chivalry is a really selfish thing anyway. You know, guys that do it want that positive, you know, feedback. That's a selfish thing. They're not doing it, you know, for the benefit of the other party. They're doing it so they'll feel better.
I'm so happy I work with female fighters and not have to deal with this bullshit.
Humanity itself are selfish. Every individual is selfish. Every individual.
Everybody has a selfish trait. Everybody has a selfish trait.
Like Juan giving me coffee so you can try to fuck me.
Yeah, selfish.
Every day, you know.
I never got coffee, JJ. Now I have the jealous trait because I didn't get coffee.
He doesn't really like white guys with dyed leprechaun hair.
It's dyed?
Well, I mean, it grew back, but that weird Slim Shady phase you went through. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're muted.
Even though I've gone through seminar, you know, I work in the social work field. At the end of the day, we all have to accept each other and just be nice to each other. It's 1 second of just being nice to each other. That's all it takes. Doesn't matter if the person calls you the F word or calls you something because you didn't you went over the board, you went above and beyond your call of duty to assist somebody. Doesn't matter what they tell you. At least in yourself, you do it because you felt good about it. And at the end of the day, whatever the outcome is for the other person, who cares? Move on, do your thing, and then get going. Go help the next person out in life. I mean, the good book says others.
I just posted a video on Facebook and Instagram that basically said the same thing after my whole rant went through. You know, at the end of the day, just treat everybody as a human because that's what we all are. You know, we're all human. We all expect the same thing out of life, you know, to live our lives happily, to provide for our children, and just be comfortable and be nice to everybody. And that's not what's happening right now. It's bad.
Respect.
Huh.
Or ESPECT.
Why is it that's what you get?
Now, in retrospect, I feel like an asshole for only shooting male combatants and not female combatants.
You should shoot them too.
Damn.
Be chivalrous.
No, as a joke, obviously. /S. Thank you, Ross. No, but yeah. And you know, here's one thing I do want to point out. That I wish the whole world was like this, but we're in a country where we have the dignity to have this conversation, man. I've been to like Djibouti, Africa. I've been to like Al-Assad. Bro.
Djibouti.
Yeah, actually, Djibouti is beautiful if you like Africa. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. But yeah, man, it's treat everybody like humans because not everybody in this world has that dignity, regardless of what you are or where you stand in society, you know? So fucking be good, pass it on because you have it really good. And it could be much worse.
In this country, unfortunately, they think this is just the world. But there's more world.
Oh, dude.
Traveling is an awesome thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The problem is, especially today, everybody's individualism and their own personal beliefs and what their actual personal rights are. That's what's getting in the way of everything. You know, that just like if it doesn't affect me, I'm not worried about it and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. We all need to get together, unify, and just be loving. I mean, the hippies, as crazy as that was back in the day, they had it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they had a lot. They had a lot of weed too. That was great.
Legalize the crap out of it right now. Let's do it.
They got it right.
Perfect.
They had it right the first time.
Let's all come listen to some Cher and Sunny. We got going on there.
The mamas and the papas.
Oh man, little Jefferson Airplane, bro, all day.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, all right.
You're not muted. Your mute button doesn't show up.
What rabbit?
Yeah, that's what I didn't think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I know because Roz had me. All right. Well, that concludes the Council of Men is Chivalry Dead. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for indulging me in that. And that's it for Keep It Up the Geek Bros, the special Council of Men podcast segment that we created. Just threw that in there. Joe, I will admit that we kind of lost the thread at the end.
Yeah, we lost the thread at the end. Yeah, we kind of went.
So what I just want to throw it in there because of course my voice and Joe's voice, you know, I want to say that drowned out, but we let the men go off on their own, and it was very, very great discussion. I actually didn't expect it to go where it went, and we would absolutely love to hear from you guys. You've got to email us. Please email us, because
yes, please.
There was a lot said there, controversial, sideline, left, right, all of it. I need to hear where you guys fall in the middle. But,
And
Joe,
this topic was very, also not to cut you off,
Right.
my good friend Jay. This topic was very controversial. Surprisingly controversial to.
It's not something to say. It wasn't supposed to be controversial.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to.
Right. Is Chivalry dead? Now, now again, we lost. In my opinion, we lost the thread a little. We went a little further, you know. But what I meant by chivalry was the romantic knight in shining armor behavior that women claim to want and expect from men. You know, when it comes to being courted, being in a relationship,
right?
When you're trying to talk to them, these are things that they claim that they want or that they're looking for, and it falls under the banner of that old school term chivalry.
Right.
And the reason why I asked if chivalry is dead, because in my experience, women claim, just like the intro says, they claim they want these particular traits, but they don't appreciate it, or they ignore it for something lesser. So when I ask the question, is it dead? It's basically, is it still even relevant to this new age in both dating and men and women relations,
and that was
and all that other crap.
That was the primary. Sorry, as I fix my hair, that was the primary concern for the topic that we brought up when it came to chivalry. It wasn't so much, and I know you're probably gonna laugh when I talk about this the way I'm about to say it. It wasn't so much about why men should care about it.
Right.
It was more so the fact that do women really, do the women now, I guess now in our society,
the modern era woman, yes.
The modern era woman, do they really care about it? Is it something that they appreciate? It's not about like if me and you feel like, oh,
or that they even find value in anymore. Do they even care?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, is it something that they should check off on their list when it comes to even searching for a man or even being with the current man that they're with? Something that they should currently should have. And I want to stress that out, because the question is chivalry still dead or is it alive?
And I'm going to say very clearly with the answer, it's not dead, but it's on life support. It's an ICU. That's how I feel about chivalry, especially as what's left of me and being a nice guy is pretty much being squashed.
Yeah,
it goes with the nice guy chivalry.
And this is the basis of our whole fucking podcast to begin with.
Exactly, which is why I thought that was the best question to use for the Council of Men, because it basically encompasses the entire concept of this podcast. That was actually Joe's idea. So
yeah, this is the my idea, but with the genius behind I have to give credit.
I can't execute what I never thought of. So, I have to be real. I can't execute what I didn't think of, and I did not think of this podcast, this concept. And it's funny because I am always the one up there saying, "What about the nice guy? What about the nice guy?" And I have the medium, and I have the technology, and I have the know-how, the craft to be able to put this out there. Never came up. And it took Mr. Joe to be like, "Hey, we should do this." It's like brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
It was a brilliant idea, and the basis and one of the main reasons why I say it was brilliant to begin with was because we were a part of that already.
Yes.
We lived through it. Yes. Now, it'd be a different story if we were both fucking hood rats and idiots and we treated women like shit. We'd probably make a podcast about us treating women like shit. It would be relative. It would be something. Exactly, it'd be some stupid shit, but we would be able to fucking relate because of the fact that that was our lifestyle, and that's what we normally did on a regular basis to women. So luckily that wasn't us. That could have been us, but it wasn't us.
Because our mamas raised us better than that.
Exactly. We and this is the reason why we brought up the whole less than a nice guy discussion with the podcast. And the chivalry is right on point because, like Jason said, this is the basis of our whole podcast.
Yeah,
it's just like the aura behind it, and you can, and to pretty much piggyback with Jason and then our entire council of men. I agree with you on the fact that it is on life support.
Yeah.
And I say that because of the fact that women nowadays, again, maybe even back then, because I was only born in '86. I'm only in my early 30s. But I don't really. I haven't really been. I haven't really gave hope to chivalry, to the women. Growing up,
Right.
it just wasn't. I use the word appreciate because I have to I kind of have to throw that in every single time. This wasn't appreciative to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, the word value.
I think the worst feeling in the world is to feel unappreciated.
It is, man.
I'd rather be hated, liked, but to be unappreciated, it means that all the work you're putting through, all the effort you're putting in there, it's not even recognized. And
right.
That sucks. It's a sucky feeling. So
it is.
Which is why when it comes to romance with me now, I'm just like, what's the point? Because the few times that I've broken my own rules and said, let me be that guy, let me be a little bit more romantic let me bust out some of B+ game, some of the D game, you know? And even that, I'm just like, what was the point?
Exactly.
What was the point when, now, and I'm going to be very clear. Just because I'm courting you or that I like you or that I'm a nice guy, I'm not saying you have to like me. I'm not even saying you have to give me a chance.
Absolutely.
Probably should, just for the sake of it. But what I'm saying though is that you can at least appreciate the effort. Don't dip on the guy. Don't disappear on the guy. Don't ghost him. Don't keep him on a thread. If he's being straightforward with you, be straightforward with him. Don't use him for the kindness or don't use him for a free meal. Don't do these things that women have admitted to doing.
Right.
With guys, Absolutely. And then don't use that. Oh well, I thought you're just a friend, but I let you take me to Japan. Like, what are you talking about?
No, yeah.
We all know that certain behaviors friends don't do. They just don't do. I don't care how. I mean, unless you're super close and you've been grown up since childhood. But anything like that, come on, give me a break. Like I wouldn't accept a gift or anything like crazy from a woman if I thought she liked me, and I know I didn't feel the same way because I have a conscience. And my conscience prevents me from taking advantage of anybody.
From being a fucking dick, yes.
Correct. That's it.
Let's be,
taking, whether you, and that's the thing with chivalry is that whether either it's a two double-edged sword. Either it's not appreciated or it's abused and manipulated. And I'm not saying all women are like this. There are some that actually say it.
Right. Yeah.
There are some that say it and mean it. But most of what I've seen is, or from my experience and from experiences of those close by to me, it's not appreciated, and it's to the point where you don't even want to express such behavior because you be looked upon like, who are you? Or
right.
So, and I'm not saying addressing one of our commentators that such behavior requires and demands recognition. No, I'm not saying that, but at the same time. If somebody opens the door for you, I personally think you'd say thank you. I mean, that's just me.
Yes.
That's not recognition. That's common courtesy. That's just being raised right, in my opinion. I'm not going to get upset if you don't say thank you. No, I'm not going to say, I'm going to be something you to say thank you. What I'm saying though is that there's reciprocation is huge.
Very huge.
It's very huge, and it's not demand, it's not required. But reciprocation basically is if your feelings or actions towards someone are reciprocated, the other person feels or behaves in the same way.
Exactly.
As you felt towards them.
Exactly.
And that goes hand in hand with chivalry. So even if I buy you flowers, I don't expect you to buy me flowers, but I expect you to recognize it and say, hey, listen, this is a good guy. Let me shake his hand at least. I'm not making this joke.
Shake his hand.
Listen, it's better than the things that I have done romantic things for women and they've just dipped out. And I haven't heard from them, period. I barely got a thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing. Yeah.
So
nothing.
And this is why, because and furthermore, what I've noticed as well is that with chivalry, being that guy scares the living shit out of women these days now. They can't handle it.
Because of their own insecurities and because of their own fear of being hurt.
It could be that, like, well, why is he so nice? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, got questioning him.
I don't like, but I'm just like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
There isn't necessarily a nefarious purpose, and it's funny because it's not even like in the past the nice guy has a fake nice guy has done them wrong. They just see a guy being chivalrous as suspect, as suspicious.
Completely.
And I found that concept to be really weird. And it's another example of how chivalry is dying.
Yes.
Because why am I going to want to be that guy? Why am I going to want to be who I innately am, the romantic guy that I innately am, just so I can be with a woman who either doesn't appreciate it, abuses it, or finds it to be a turnoff or repulsive?
Yeah. And you're not even doing anything bad. You're doing something positive.
Exactly.
It's such a positive that it's such a positive in the way that you would be an absolute nutcase to say that what that man was doing for you would be bad.
Yeah.
I really, if you literally ask the basic question of, is this man brought me flowers? I mean, can you name a negative behind that? Unless you are completely allergic to flowers or something.
Right.
I mean, come on, like, unless you like touch them and you die or whatever. Like, are you really going to sit there and...
Because they also see that kind of behavior as what does he want? What do I have to give him in return?
Right,
so
that fishy behavior.
Here's a great example. There was a girl that I liked. She lived like almost 3 hours away from me, right? I didn't know that because I think she put a different thing on her dating app. We met and she wanted to hang out one weekend. And I thought, this is great. I said, sure. Well, since you're coming all the way to me, I will pay for gas. I don't mind. I'll just give you gas money. That's right. But that's just, I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be sweet. I'm just like, well, you're coming here. I'm not doing anything. So let me gas money. It's a long drive. She said, no, that's okay. I said, no, but why? You're coming all the way here. She's like, no, because if you give me gas money, you're going to want something.
Right.
And I said, what? I can't just offer gas money because you're driving 2.5, 3 hours to come and hang out with me for a weekend.
And this is what we were talking about. Yes.
Right. And I just it threw me off. I'm just like, no, that's not why.
That's not what you were talking about. Yeah.
Who thinks I'm gonna have to give it up to a man because he gave me gas money? What have you been through that's the first thing you thought of when a good guy says, all right, you're gonna drive all the way here to hang out with me on my area. When I'm meeting halfway, I'm not going to you, and you're bringing your kid, so like it's a huge issue, a huge inconvenience. And I'm saying, well, let me do my part, and I thought, but that was actually the least I could do was
exactly,
because I wasn't going anywhere near you. I wasn't going anywhere over there.
The idea that she was so concerned about why you did that.
Yeah. And it's funny because I never thought about it in the least bit. Had I thought that she'd react like that, I would have just said, okay, hurry up, get over here. I wouldn't have offered. I had no idea that some women are thinking like that for very, very, very innocent, and I do mean innocent, and quite mundane, boring gestures of kindness, gestures of appreciation, gestures of understanding. That's all it was. It was a nice guy gesture.
It was a positive gesture, very, very, very positive gesture, and that's why I agree with you when you say if you want to back off or kind of dial down on the doing these great gestures, you should be able to. There should be no argument or kind of a rebuttal to you from anybody else. I mean, and it's granted because you have been in that position, you have done that, and look where it's gotten you. And like you said before, not every woman is like this. I get it.
Of course not.
I get it. There's gonna be that one good apple where you do that, and they're gonna be so appreciative that they might even fucking do things that you probably never even expected right back to you, and that's cool. That's a reciprocation of an acknowledgement of you doing a nice gesture for that woman. That's a good woman. That's a really good woman. However, the chivalry that we're speaking of, even though that is chivalry, and that's the acknowledgement and the positivity behind it, the negativity kind of outshines that tenfold. And I hate to say it, and I know we're probably going to get a lot of comments back on this for even saying that we're non-believers or whatever, but I'm sorry, but it's been experience-wise. It's been experience-wise.
It is, and that's why when I see women throw it out there that there's no good man, I'm just like, well, yeah, you probably buried him dead and gone. That's the thing, and that phrase just drives you nuts. There was this one.
That's so sad.
There's this one meme that I had seen. I don't remember exactly, but it was a nice guy pulling out his heart, giving it to a good girl. The good girl was pulling her heart out to give it to a jackass guy. The jackass guy was pulling his heart out and giving it to a bitch. The bitch is pulling her heart out and giving it to a rich guy. that's how the line went. And I wish I could find it and like show it to you guys, but I'll never forget it because, you know, of course the first person in line was what? A nice guy, you know, and everybody had their back toward each other. It's just me like this, and the girl had her back to him, and she was like this, and it went down the line. And it is a cycle. It is a cycle, but at the same time, it goes back to say what you mean to mean what you say. If you say you want these qualities and you approach these qualities, get out of your comfort zone, give it a chance.
Yes.
Give it a chance.
Yes.
And if you don't, you don't. You know, or at least be straightforward with the guy, or be straightforward in general.
At the least you can do is
be straightforward.
You know,
because I you know, I maybe on dating apps and I'll see a woman who says, I just want to be spoiled. I may roll my eyes and swipe left, but I respect that girl. At least you threw it out there. You said, I'm not here to be spoiled.
That's brilliant. I would go out of my way and contact her and be like, I respect you.
Well, I went out of my way to swipe left, but the fact is, I swiped left after I rolled my eyes to the back of my head. I swiped left, but at least I said, you know what? At least she gave me a sentence that said, I don't want to try that. You know?
No, but you get what I mean. Like I would literally take the time to swipe right if we matched, and literally contact her and be like, I respect you. Your honesty is well noted. I respect that. I would never date you, but you are completely. I would say that in a heartbeat.
I would check it out. I respect you. I respect you. I feel your grind. I'm not the man for you, however. All right, so peace.
There were. I'm just picturing me doing it now. There were a couple instances in the past before I even met my current partner, and I literally would contact the woman and be like, say one thing or two things, like purposely swipe right, say 1-2 things, and be like, look, and I'd be honest too. I respect, like for example, it'd be like, I respect your profile. You're very pretty. I just wanted to say that. Have a great day.
Oh, I've done that.
And then done. And done. Yeah. And then done.
I've written once. Your profile is very refreshing. It's nice to see a woman who knows what she wants. Can write it down eloquently. I think you're beautiful. Good luck on here. I've done that. I have.
Now here's the $1 million question. Did you get a response back?
Yes. I did get a response. I did get a response back, and usually it would be a hi or thank you so much, but then I wouldn't answer. That was it. That was always it.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
I haven't done it very often, but there are sometimes I've seen it. Only on Plenty of Fish, actually. I've seen it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Me too. That was the main. Yeah. That was the main site for me that had occurred where I would do that, and I did it a lot. And funny thing is that when they would reply and be like, "Oh, thank you so much. How are you today?" Dead. Silence.
Yeah, nothing.
Silence.
Hey, thanks so much. Or you know, it doesn't. That was the point.
Silence.
Not gonna work. We're not gonna work.
Yeah. So that was. See, again, a perfect example of a fucking nice guy. There we go.
Yeah. So, final thoughts, Joe, before we wrap up the first Council of Men. Is Chivalry dead?
Chivalry is on its last fucking string right now.
Yes.
Man. It is. Hopefully it makes a comeback. I doubt it. But if it does, that would be a complete shock. For those who are currently in relationships, who are even married or long term.
Stick with them. Being single sucks. Well, being single doesn't suck. Dating sucks.
Yes, absolutely. But if you are in that position, like I currently am right now, you don't have to stop. Meaning that like
you shouldn't stop.
You shouldn't. Well, let me rephrase that. Like you said, you shouldn't stop that. And because of the fact you shouldn't stop that, it's because it is something that can make your marriage or long-lasting committed relationship.
So long as it's appreciated.
Go further and further and further. And I guarantee you, if you're fucking, I mean, I'm only speaking because of my status right now, but I know for a fact that it would bring a lot of happiness in the relationship, because at that point in time, that's something that if they haven't noticed that by now, then you're in trouble. Yep. But that's hopefully it comes back strong, but we'll see. I mean, I doubt it. It's just something that I really thought would trend, like most of the things that are happening right now.
Yep.
So I thought it would trend. So let's see if it will.
No, I agree. Final thoughts for me. Yep, Chivalry is ICU. It is on its last legs. It is on life support, and I have no qualms about blaming women. I don't, or most of them, because of that double talk, the wishy-washiness, the non-appreciation, and the basic mistreatment of guys who try to be what women claim they want, and unsuccessfully. Not all women, most women. I being a former nice guy myself, I've been through it, and it's the X factor could be me, yes, but at the same time, I wish I had like a type, like there was one single type of woman, and it makes sense. Okay, well, you're attracted to this kind, that's why you're feeling. No, I've dated across the board, with different everything, and
absolutely,
it seems like the guy I was, not the guy I am, the guy I was just wasn't what they wanted.
Exactly.
Or they tried it for a little bit. And that's the one thing, is that I used to be an experiment to some women, like, let me try this different. He's a different guy. And I hated that phrase. Why are you dating me? Because you're different. I'm like, yep, you're going to dump me in 6 months and go back to
Exactly.
I hated that.
Exactly.
Okay?
That was the magic phrase right there.
Don't do that. Don't experiment with a guy. Don't sit there and say, well, I used to date thugs with braids and golds. I'm like, you know what I want? Is a clean-cut guy that's nice and brings me roses. You're not going to stick with this guy.
Exactly. Then when you get it, you don't do shit.
Yeah, you don't get it. You don't really want it. You're like, well, that was fun. It's like a vacation. Let me go back to what I'm used to. I can't tell you how many women I've dated that dated me, whether they told me or not, it's a different. And then when we ended, they went right back to what they were doing to date, the same type of guy. I'm just like, wow, bro. What was the point? Test the waters with somebody else. Don't test the waters with a genuine guy. Because the guy is looking at you with purpose. He's dating you with purpose. Okay, not to get in your pants, he's dating you with purpose. And that's the thing. So I say, ladies, tighten up, because you're gonna sit there, you're gonna miss the days when men were genuinely chivalrous, when they were genuinely nice guys, not nice guys where you actually will have to sit there and wonder, why is he being nice? Because now it's not the norm. Now it's something weird, something shady, and it's getting to that point now because it's so scarce and rare that now it's becoming shady. He's a nice guy. What's wrong with him? Many people have said, you're a great guy, Jason. You raise your kids. You're sweet. You're considerate. You're intelligent. You can cook. You can be romantic.
Allegedly.
What's wrong with you? And I hate that. Why is he single? What I'm saying? Like that, those kind of questions, because now you're being all shady and mysterious about it.
Right.
It's just that.
Maybe it was not him.
Okay. Maybe it could be both. But the fact of the matter is, just because you see a decent guy who's single, and you think that by now he'd have been picked up by someone, and that's wrong.
No, you can't.
Because unfortunately, now in this day and age, what I bring to the table is not the kind of place sets that most women seem to want. At least,
absolutely,
in practice. On paper, I'm perfect, and guys like me are perfect. But in practicality, in action, it's not what these women seem to really want.
Exactly.
So, and that's what I'm going to leave it right there. Chivalry is dead, or dying, or on life support. But it's not too late. We can bring it back.
We can bring it back.
It's almost dead in me, but we can. Joe can bring it back. Well, and that's it for the Council of Men, the first one for the Last of the Nice Guys podcast. I'm Jason,
and I am Joe,
and thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.
This is an audio production of Vibe Revelation Studios, the cure for your common day. VibeRevStudios.com.